Well, today I have got my wife Carrie here today, and it's Friday, so hopefully you had a great week. Overall, we are moving along. It's crazy. It seems like yesterday was the new year and start of the year, and now we're already I guess quite literally a couple weeks into January. So certainly moving quick. That's what time tends to do. But exciting news: we've got our transformation challenge coming up, which starts on Monday. So if you haven't heard about that, I think we're going to start out the question and answer today with just giving you guys some more details about the transformation. We've tried to think this through, I think, overall, so that it's not just a crash diet, so to speak, and you're going into it and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna, do that really deficit dieting and whatever, and then there's no really positive effect that comes out of it, and most of the time,
like long term, no long term.
Yeah,
the goal is long term.
When you do that, I mean, the tendency is to kind of get done and be like, okay, now I'm gonna go back, and it never is a lasting effect. So with that being said, we've got some daily tasks that you're going to be required to do. We have some weekly challenges that we're going to be putting forward for all of you. Not this stuff is not really hard. It's more just the point of getting in a habit of doing it. So it's really going to be a kind of accountability thing on your part to do it, but we think it's going to be fun. We think it's going to be a way to kind of, not only, have a transformation, but to make it fun and interactive and something that all you can follow along with. So Carrie's going to give a few more details on it, like some of the finer points.
Okay, perfect. So, hi, good morning. So there's kind of, I would say, a couple main aspects, if you will, of the transformation challenge. More important than anything is, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to get out of this? As Brian said, like, our goal is, it's long-term, honestly, long-term, just like health, happiness, that type of thing. But then we want you to be able to tweak it for what is your main goal, or goals. So step one is to be entered. You just have to be a member of the Shaw Elite Club, and you have to complete that before questionnaire. I keep posting the link of it. And that's really just like, what are your goals? What's your before picture? And do you understand the rules? I'd say is for the most part, that's really all it is. Where are you from? How do we contact you when you're the winner? That type of thing. So that's the first step. With that, things to kind of help keep you accountable throughout the challenge are some daily tasks and weekly challenges that we have come up with. And they're really, again, just to create a good, happy, healthy person. It's not like, all right, you're going to go for this PR in the gym, or you're going to lose 100 pounds or whatever. It's nothing extreme. It's just these really good daily habits that we should be doing. And life kind of gets crazy, and we maybe stop thinking about them or making them a goal, etc. So the first thing I'm going to go over are daily tasks, and it's probably weird. I'm going to show you. I'm actually just opening this from the Shaw Elite Club. There is this graphic that's floating around. It's your daily task graphic. You do not have to post this anywhere if you don't want to, but it's to help keep you accountable. I'm like such a checklist person. So at the end of every single day, I'm going to post this on my Instagram story. I'm going to check, 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 and that I completed everything.
And where did they get that at?
It is on the community feed of.
And they can download it.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
And then Brian and I will also share it in our story, so you can kind of like hold it and take a screenshot. That probably is just as easy. Again, you do not have to post that, but it's more of just, for me, it's like a, hey, I'm holding myself accountable every single day. So real quick, what those daily tasks are is, the first one is to drink 80 ounces of plain water. And I'm going to go through and basically be telling you everything that's in the PDF file that I've also been posting in the community.
So you could easily read it as well.
You can read
if you have
all
any
this.
questions after we're done with this.
Yep, 80 ounces of plain water. So just to be clear, this is not 80, or this is not plain water.
It wouldn't be included.
This does not
So
count.
it would be just water like this.
Yep.
So you have
This.
80 ounces of just water.
This coffee, even if it's black and it's made with water and coffee beans, it does not count. It has to be 80 ounces of plain water. Gatorade, something added to the water to make it like electrolyte, whatever. None of that counts. We totally support that. You may use that stuff, you may like it. We use it as well, whatever it may be, coffee, pre-workout, create, that type of stuff. But protein shake, that does not count. 80 ounces of plain water is the goal. Some of you may be like already drinking a gallon of water a day. That's awesome. Some of you may wake up and have coffee. Some of you may have coffee in your morning break. You might have a soda with your lunch. So our goal is 80 ounces of plain water to your day. Second one is no alcohol. For some of you that may be challenging, some of you may not. It's 8 weeks. Our goal is, we just want you to see what you feel like without alcohol. That's really it. Third one is 10 minutes of intentional movement. So I know a lot of you probably like crush it in the gym. You spend 2 hours doing your workout. That's amazing. What we want you to think about is maybe on the days where you're not doing that, are you still kind of just getting in like a 10-minute walk? Are you taking 10 minutes to stretch? And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, some days I do 10 minutes on the bike or the treadmill, and the next, I will literally walk around the kitchen as Brian and I are like catching up on the day, and that's my 10 minutes.
Just
set a timer. Sometimes I do a dance party with the kids. We might
Just
go
fun.
for a walk together. Just 10 minutes where you're moving versus sitting on the couch or whatever. Next thing is write 3 things that you're thankful for. We really believe in like this mind-body connection, where it's like if you have a positive mindset, you're grateful, you practice gratitude, it's going to carry over into the physical and vice versa. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy formal. Some of you, I've already talked to you personally. You see I have like a gratitude journal. I actually got one for our boys too that I'm gonna have them do with me. It's like a kid one, they color, draw pictures, that type of thing. But just grab a Post-it, scrap piece of paper, write down 3 things you're thankful for every single day. And they don't have to be like monumental. It can be, man, my coffee was warm today. I didn't have to warm it up. The sunrise was beautiful today. I'm thankful for my health. Anything. It could be anything. It can be huge, it can be small. 3
Just
things.
something to think about, positive. It puts you in a good mental spot, and doing it especially first thing in the morning if you can. I mean, if you have time to do that, it sets your day up in a very positive way.
Absolutely. And I've only been actively doing this where I'm writing it down like a week or so, but I wake up and I'm like, what am I going to write today in my journal? Or I'm going through my workout and I'm like struggling, I'm tired, and instead of thinking like, man, this is hard, how fortunate am I that I got up and I have this space to work out in or whatever. It's just like Brian says, like starting your day on a positive note. Next one, sleep 7 hours. I've been trying since like Christmas. Not many successful days in, but this is the goal that we're all going to shoot for. 7 hours. I know it's super hard. I just want you to try it.
Just
I honestly want you
the discipline of doing it.
The discipline of doing it. I just cannot stress from our personal experience how important sleep is. Turn the TV off. Turn the phone off. Read your kids a story and go to bed early. I don't know how else to explain it. Just try.
Well, that's the list, and that's that's part of the transformation that's going to make you better. So, and that's the final thing. Right?
Nope. Last one, it says personal.
Oh, you pick one.
This is how you're going to help every day use your daily tasks to really reach your specific goal. So I'm just going to make this up. Say someone's goal is to gain muscle or to hit their macros or whatever. So maybe your goal is tracking your protein intake, or I'm weighing my protein at every meal or something like that. I'm trying to think what my personal goal is. I literally wrote this down, and I think actually,
Could be anything.
my personal goal is because one of my big goals is trying to lean out a little bit. So my personal daily task is I kind of follow like a macro eating program, and so my personal daily task is to stay on
Follow
track
your
with my
diet,
diet,
right.
to stay on track with my diet and what I've set.
Which I think, I think for a lot of people, that'll be a good one. You know, if you have the diet written out, you know, having that accountability with your diet, whatever that might be, whatever your goals are, that's a great one. And we'll go right along with the sleep and the drinking the water and you know, the gratitude as well.
It's really what I want to make clear though is that's up to you. It's a personal goal.
You pick it.
So if your like diet is on track, but maybe your goal is another one of my big overarching goals is to get off my phone and spend more focused quality time with the family. So for me, when the boys come home, my phone goes away. It like goes in a separate room and I don't see it. Last night we got together with friends. I left my car left my car in the phone. I left my phone in the car, and it was just amazing. Like we were at dinner with friends, and they have kids, we have kids, and literally no one brought out their phone for I don't know,
Anything.
4 hours, and it was just
nice.
like connecting with people. So anyway, I'm just sharing to hopefully give you guys an idea, and I'm talking way too much. Next is weekly challenges. They will be posted every Friday, so I will be posting them today. It runs from Monday to the following Sunday. So I will post today, Friday. You have from
Do you want
Monday.
to tell them what it is, or
I don't have the exact terminology,
Okay.
but what it is that you have to write down on a piece of paper. I don't have mine, but use a Post-it because this is my checklist today. Write down on a piece of paper your overarching goals for this entire challenge, 3 of them, and you had to enter them in your before questionnaire.
so
it's
just
nothing.
write those down. And keep
Write them
somewhere.
down, post them where you will see them every single day. So mine are on a Post-it note and are on my mirror in our bathroom. Maybe you post it on your refrigerator. Maybe you have a notebook that you look in every day. You have to post them somewhere where you're going to see them every day. This is something I learned from Brian. He writes his goals down where he can see them, and he's reminded of them all the time. So that's the first one. Oh, and then you have to post it in the club. You have to post, I can't remember exactly what I said, but like you have to post one of your goals or something like that. Again, I will post this, but like, I'm just going to give you another example. One of the weeks, I'm not sure which week, is you have to eat half a cup of vegetables each day. And that's literally the weekly challenges. So Monday you have to eat half a cup of vegetables. Tuesday you have to eat half a cup of vegetables. And I'm hoping that some of you are like, oh, that is so easy. But I genuinely believe that there's others of us here that don't eat vegetables. And they don't think about it. So these are just, the daily tasks and the weekly challenges are small things that are going to help lead us to our bigger goals, and mentally, physically, etc. There's a coloring page. I apologize, I'm literally showing you guys this stuff on my phone. Coloring page. This, if you want to print out, you can just color it in when you complete it. So weekly challenges, there's 8 weeks. Color the little.
That's the top. So it's the top of the B grade.
Yep, the B 1 through 8. The grade is each day.
Yeah.
To be successful, and the reason you want to be successful is even if you're not the overall winner, to come hang out with us. To be successful, you are going to gain access to basically a private shop, and you'll be able to buy an exclusive Shaw Elite Club t-shirt. And I posted, if you scroll down a while, I did post what that design's going to look like, and I've confirmed I think we're going to offer in a few different colors. I've also posted, we have this like little wooden coin that looks like a weight plate, but it has the figure logo. I think it's
custom.
super
It's
cool.
really cool. Yeah.
All this stuff is custom. So I'm working on a couple other things as well, but yeah.
Yeah, the whole point of this chart, guys, so you understand, is you can print this out. This is going to be in the file. You can print this out, and again, along with posting up what your goals are where you can see them. This is something that you get to do each and every day. So kind of one of my themes right now going into World's Strongest Man, and we'll talk more about this, but it's stacking a brick every training session. Every single day I'm stacking a brick. And I have literally thought about physically going and buying bricks so that I get to physically move them. This is a physical thing where even if you're using a pencil or marker, whatever it is, you get to do that on a daily basis and then on a weekly basis, and it keeps you accountable. Seems silly because it's something you print out and you're going to color in, but if you get to keep coloring it in, you get to see your progress along the way. So it's just these little accountability things. So we're really excited about the challenge. I think it's going to be great. Welcome to everybody that's new, that has entered or joined the club here to be part of the challenge. And I think you'll find a lot of like-minded individuals here. So
women, we're 2 for 2.
Yeah, guys, we have to step up. That's true. That is true. So we're gonna jump into questions.
Okay,
now.
perfect. Let's go. I'm sure they have questions.
Yeah.
We've just been rambling.
Yeah, saw the thumbnail of your latest video. Please don't tell me you're retiring completely after Worlds. Don't give up. You're Brian Shaw. Never give up. I appreciate that. And as far as what was said is, it's my last World's Strongest Man. So it's not my last strongman contest. I'm taking it for this one, as I said, and that's as far as that is going. So, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Shaw. Good morning. Good morning. What do you think is going to be the hardest part for you during this challenge? For me, it's getting the 7 hours of sleep. It's taken a lot of scheduling to make that happen. I think that probably, in all fairness, I would say that's probably going to be one of the hardest things for both Carrie and I, because of schedule, life, etc. I'm training a heck of a lot more now later. So it's very hard for me to wind down after training. You get to bed, and then, if I get to bed late, it doesn't mean that the day gets to start later. The next day I don't get to sleep extra. So it's going to take a lot of scheduling
still starts at the
as
same
well.
time, so.
But that accountability, I think it's, when we start, it's got to happen. So we're going to be pushing just like you guys are to make that happen. Let's see. Same on the sleep. Good morning, Brian Carey. Looking forward to this challenge. Thanks for the motivation boost. You are welcome. Good morning, Brian and Carey. Brian, how's the training going for World's Strongest Man? It's going good. And what are your feelings on Brian's last run for World's Strongest Man to Carey?
I don't even know. It's just, I don't know. Someone said like end of an era. I feel like I saw that. I don't know. It's a celebration. It's exciting. It's sad. What's going to happen next? It's a whole lot of everything. I think more than anything right now, and Brian and I say this is like, I really genuinely feel that I'm doing everything I can, and our whole team, like our whole Shaw Strength team, everyone is stepping up in every way we can to support Brian. So it's like that extra help with emails, or extra help, extra help doing dishes. And Brian always takes the boys to school in the morning, and I've helped just, recently the past couple weeks, like I've taken him a couple extra times so Brian can get his extra sleep in, or that type of thing. So I don't know. I just want it to be everything he wants it to be.
It'll be good. Good morning. Wow, it might be the last World's Strongest Man. The Shaw Classic is now more of an elite competition. Anyway, question: how to train for axle deadlift and car deadlift with side handles at the same time? Comps in April and May. So appreciate the comment on the Shaw Classic, and we are doing everything we can to make that the elite contest. So I appreciate you saying that. And as far as the axle deadlift and car deadlift, side handle car deadlift, it's something that you absolutely can train in parallel together. So the car deadlift, the side handle is you're going to use a lot more leg drive on that one. So when you get locked in, it almost in kind of in a weird way will feel more like a kind of more like a squat. So your quads are going to come into play potentially a lot more, especially if you can get your back into being just a stabilizer and you're driving with your legs hard with that. So as far as training that goes, I don't know if you have access to the actual equipment. A good substitute could be a trap bar, where you're standing inside the trap bar and getting used to doing that type of pull, but you can integrate those together. So maybe I'm assuming it's a deadlift for reps, so that rep volume will carry over. So you could do, potentially with them being at that time, figure out what you're best at, what your strength is, and if one of them is a little bit better, then maybe focus a touch more on, for example, if the axle is maybe harder for you than the side handle will be, maybe put a little bit more emphasis on that. But as long as you're doing that and your legs are strong and your back is strong, you should get some carryover, especially if they're both for reps. Just staring at the ceiling count as sleep.
I highly recommend finding a bedtime ritual.
Yeah.
Sounds so corny.
Something to
bedtime
wind
ritual
down.
that works for you. I don't know why, but like if I'm reading a book, it just helps me sleep better than if I'm not like in a book and I'm getting on my phone right before I go to bed. So find something, and that's really, honestly, it's really what this challenge is about, or specifically this task, is finding something that works for you that you can do for life, not for 8 weeks. It's like kind of getting in tune with yourself and being like, oh my gosh, if I sleep 7 hours versus 5, my body is happier, my body is less stressed, I lose weight, I'm not holding on to water.
Just trying to wind down. Yeah. So that's, try to get into bed, but like I said, part of me with the sleeping, if I train later, sometimes I'm a little bit wound up from training, so it's going to be harder to wind down. But with that being said, maybe, and this is something I'll probably integrate more if I have to, go out and, sit in the hot tub and cold tub for a couple minutes after training, even though I typically like to wait a little bit longer. That tends to relax me and calm me down, and then I can go to sleep faster. So I may experiment with some of that type of stuff, but like Carrie said, if you put your phone down, especially late at night, and or you're not watching TV and you just do something more calming and relaxing, it'll be easier to go to sleep.
Stretching.
You could stretch too, yeah. Hey, Shaw fam, can't wait for the challenge. As far as sleep goes, does it need to be 7 hours straight? I know that is better, but with life with a 3-month-old, it has me sleeping 2-hour bursts. No, with kids, that 100% is acceptable, yeah. And that we wouldn't want you to not.
Should we make a rule like it's 7 hours a day?
Yeah.
So if you even have to take a nap, I'm
or
gonna
something,
throw that out there.
Yeah.
Or like shift workers. I've had a couple people ask about that as well. So it's like, I really want to hold this 7 hours, but again, this is not, like Brian said, this is not a crash diet or change or anything. This is how does getting more sleep impact me long term?
Yeah.
So.
Do you like trap bars for practicing deadlifts? I got one. I wanted to know how you like them. So I actually have I have both, to be fair. I have an open one that's I had made a little bit wider so I fit into it better, but absolutely, I like them for practicing deadlift, especially for the leg drive portion of the lift, because with a side handle pull like that, the weight is in line with your body instead of forward. Typically, you can work harder on that leg drive coming off the floor, which will have some carryover. So it's something that I like to throw into the rotation. It depends on, of course, what I'm prepping for and what I'm getting ready for, but it is something that I have utilized at certain points, and especially for a newer lifter, somebody that isn't maybe as experienced with deadlift. It's a great way, let's just say high school, that type of age. It's a great way to bring deadlifts into the picture, because it's a little bit easier with the bar path being in the center of your body, to kind of reinforce good habits there. Morning, guys. Brian, what were the Jordans you wore for the movie events at the Shaw Classic last year?
So Hal's in here. If I'm getting this correctly, It's his cousin
Yeah, they're custom. They're custom made for me.
This is what you're talking about.
Go up a little bit. Yeah.
And so
they're
his Instagram is
Jordan 1 Chicago's. Yeah.
Kicks by N8. So KICKSBYN.
N8.
The number 8.
The number 8.
Those are also the ones I got Brian. These are the ones I got him. You can't see this probably. I don't know. This is the ones I got him for Christmas.
Yeah, those are. I haven't officially worn those yet, but the ones were actually. I was surprised at how well they did work for some of the moving events. Weird question: would I be able to include studying/passing goals for myself?
Yes.
For the Transformation Challenge in terms of my prep for the bar exam? Yes.
100%. So your daily task where it says personal, I'm making this number up because I'm sure you probably do more of this, but like your goal or your personal goal could be, I'm going to study half an hour every single day, with your overarching goal of passing this or being this close to passing or whatever. 100%. That is like our goal, is that this is a transformation challenge. This is not a how fast can I lose weight in 8 weeks. So this is about a happier, healthier person as a whole.
Okay, so what specific criteria are you using to judge and pick a winner? So this is something that we did think about with all of the different daily tasks, weekly tasks. Obviously, number one, you have to pass all of that to the standard that's laid out there. So that's number one. You have to meet that. Obviously, a lot of this is on the honor system. So if you're saying I slept 7 hours and drank 80 ounces of water and did all of these things, that's on the honor system. And you know, there's, in all fairness, the accountability always is going to fall back on you, and we want it to be that way. We want people to get better, so that's going to be first and foremost. Second is going to be the questionnaire from before and after. We're going to go back and review that. Obviously, the before and after is going to be included in the kind of selection process as well. So yes, it will be great to see not only positive changes in your life, but positive changes physically, positive changes mentally. So it's just overall.
So quick recap is daily tasks, weekly challenges. Were you successful? Did you do them? Your before and after, both physical and mental. So physical, obviously, we'll be able to tell from the pictures. And be very honest with this. In your final questionnaire, you will have space to talk about what this challenge meant to you and kind of what happened to you. What did you experience? Did you, what transformation did you experience? And again, it's not just physical. I'm going to throw Brooke under the bus, but Brooke, and I think she already posted this. Brooke was our very first winner 2 years ago. And she did have an incredible physical transformation as well. But what I will say is Brooke shared a lot with us about her mindset and the shift in her mindset, and that she learned so much about herself and how she can kind of move on with life in a more positive manner. So it's, are you doing the daily tasks? Are you doing the weekly challenges? Did you do the before and after questionnaire? Your physical transformation, your mental transformation, that's going to come in this paragraph that you're sharing with us. And also, did you meet your goals? That's about it. If if we get down to the end, I can foresee us possibly asking the club, and I think I put this in there that's possible if this could happen, is if we're really stuck on 2 people, we might honestly just ask in the club, like, who do you feel gave back to this community? Like, who was participating? Who was encouraging other people? That type of thing. So I hope that's clear.
I'm not sure. How about a squeeze of lemon?
For the water.
Oh, no. So plain water.
I know. I'm so mean.
No,
it has to be water. It has to be plain water.
If you're going to drink a gallon a day, you still have.
You only have to do 80 ounces?
No, I'm saying, but you would then have, 48 ounces
of pre-workout
that you could put lemon in or whatever else, or sometimes I will put some electrolytes and that type of thing in my water, so that won't count for me. So it'll be 8 ounces of plain. Good morning. How are you programming in your conditioning from last YouTube video, i.e. strength day, rest day, event day? So this is a great question, and we're trying to find this balance right now. For me, initially starting out, what we've tested is to very much have a day like you saw in the video, where I'm setting it up. I'm doing some kind of moving / conditioning as part of more of my event day with training. I think that fits really well. We've also thrown in some other kind of speed, agility type of training, and those have been separate sessions. As of right now, I actually have a call right when we're done with this live to go over things and kind of brainstorm. But basically with this prep, I'm the head coach, right? So I've got Joe Ken as my strength coach. I'm the head coach / athlete, and I'm bringing to the table my ideas, and we're collectively kind of coming up with a program right now. So I need to kind of balance my recovery, and that's going to be the biggest challenge, because there's a lot of different things that I'm trying to work on right now. But if I don't recover, that's kind of a problem. So on paper, it may look great to do, hey, strength training here, and then we're going to do a day of speed and agility and conditioning, and then we're going to go back to strength. But the problem is the magnitude of training is so much. So I'm trying to figure this out right now. Probably what's going to be happening is it's going to get integrated into the same training session, so that I have a little bit more rest, recovery / treatment, that type of thing that I'm bringing back into the schedule. So it's this first month, the first 4-week block. That's what all of this training is, to figure out what is going to be ideal to get me ready for those events. So it's kind of going to be kind of an ever changing type of thing, and we're gonna work together. And that's how I've done my training in the past, is analyzing where I'm at and where I need to go. So I don't have a perfect answer on that, but we're gonna have a conversation after we're done with the live, and we're gonna try to figure out the best way forward. Already finished saved on my phone. That's awesome. Sorry if I missed it. First of all, hello, Shaw's. And with the announcement about World's Strongest Man, are you planning to continue the Shaw Classic? Absolutely. The Shaw Classic as a contest, 100% is going forward. Me competing in the Shaw Classic, I haven't officially announced that, but all I said for sure is this is my last World's Strongest Man. So I think you maybe can read between the lines there. I haven't said anything officially, but I know that people do listen to these lives and then go out and tell everybody. So as of right now, my focus is World's Strongest Man. It's my last World's Strongest Man, and then we'll go from there, if that makes sense.
But the Shaw Classic is growing. We already have so many new things planned for this year. We're having so exciting.
Just so you guys know, we're having weekly meetings about it now. So much stuff going on there that I'm very excited about, but I'm gonna have to manage that. I don't want to put too much on my plate. We have to get enough done, but I really want to, as I said, bring the best package I can to World's Strongest Man. So I'm not going in there and saying, well, I worked too much on the Shaw Classic. I worked too much on this. I worked too much on that. I did too much of this. I don't want to do that right now. So that's why I'm answering your question the way I am. My axle press is much better than my log. 350 to 300. Having trouble getting leg driving to the log. Any tips? I feel like I can't hinge at all. Extended so much with the log. So that is a very normal feeling. And there's a lot of things that you could touch on. Depending on how flexible you are through your thoracic spine, and also through your neck. So how far you can get the log up onto your upper chest and bend your upper back. One of the things that I would recommend you try, and this might be a good thing. I'm going to make a note of this actually, is a potential video that I could film. Try to, when you get the log up, think about your first movement as pushing your hips back like you're going to squat. Now, leg drive on the log doesn't need to be big, but if you put your feet in a position, you spread the floor. So think about spreading the floor with your feet and then sitting back first with your hips. That will help you. If you're spreading the floor, your knees will not be able to come in. Your hips will come back slightly. Then you'll drive your hips through, and that should help you to maintain a better line with the log. And again, I can go into this in a little bit more detail if we film a video on it. But you want to look at from the side. When you come up and down, the log should not drift forward. Typically it'll be forward. Very rarely will it go back, but you want it to stay in a straight line as you come back up with your leg drive. So thinking about spreading the floor will keep your knees out and then hips coming back, and then you're driving your hips through to get that same kind of leg drive. So position, it could have a little bit to do with your upper back, strength, stability, etc. But it is an awkward position to try to be in. So maybe try those little things out. I think this is probably a very good topic to do a video explaining this leg drive on the log to see if that can help you out as well. Rome wasn't built in a day, but they were laying bricks every hour. That's a very, very good point. Very good point. Hey Brian, I'll be on my honeymoon for 2 weeks out of the country. Do you have any suggestions for strength training while on the move? My wife said I'm not allowed to use her as a weight. Well, I don't know if she's being a very good partner, number one. That doesn't sound, I mean, if Carrie needed to hop on my back for squats or to be pressed or anything, I feel like she would be, no, you wouldn't?
No.
That wouldn't be a thing?
No.
If there was no other weight, you wouldn't do that for me?
Maybe.
Yes, you would. Okay. So what I would say is bands. If you're going to be on vacation, they're light, they're easy to pack in your bag, and if you get a few different sizes of bands, you can do a heck of a lot with just bands. So I mean, think like band good mornings, where you put the band around your neck and around your feet. That could be a great kind of, squat position. You could squat down a little bit. You could do more of a good morning type of movement. Obviously, the upper body stuff is a lot simpler to figure out. Band rows, band presses, the band, shoulder raises, like all of this type of stuff. If you don't have access to a gym and you're traveling, that's going to take up probably the least amount of weight in your bag and room in your bag. And you can get the most potentially out of that. But, some body weight stuff, I mean, going back to sit-ups and push-ups and things like that, for 2 weeks, you may just need to figure it out. And then
have you ever
obviously
used those like water bladder bags?
Where you can fill them up with water.
Yeah, have you
it's
ever
like a
used them?
water weight. I have never used them. I've heard of them. But, the other thing is, and I know this sounds kind of silly, but, getting just a gallon of water, but if you were to do enough with that, it could be something, but, depending on where you go to and where you're going to be, something like that, where you fill it with water, or, obviously, it just depends, where you'll be, but I would say probably number one is the bands.
But enjoy your honeymoon.
Yeah, you want to enjoy your honeymoon too.
You'll come home
Yeah.
rejuvenated and excited. With that said, we train everywhere we go.
Yeah.
But also, we find that balance.
I mean, and I think wife also squats, I feel like that might be a good thing. So
Weird.
I mean, I feel like it's a challenge now that you said she wouldn't do it. You got to try to, Brian, do you think you can build a whole new extension on your gym with those bricks you could stack? I don't know.
He probably wishes he could.
Yeah, I probably wish I could. Yeah. I've gone by Arnold's suggestions to get 6 hours of sleep a day. It's just a little sleep, just a little faster. Is there a benefit to that extra hour? I would say 100%. I mean, for me, I'm actually gonna try to shoot for 8+, potentially 9, just for the recovery and I mean, yes, people operate on 6 hours of sleep. I understand that, but at the same time, sleep is very, very important. And if you look at the potential time that you waste throughout the day, it's something that's
There.
just being disciplined.
Yeah.
I mean, really, and you can find that time to make it work. So, I personally don't think 6 hours is enough, but I'm also training hard. I'm trying to recover, and doing that type of thing. And I'm a better husband. I'm a better dad. I'm better at everything when I sleep more. And that's just the truth to the matter. So, anybody that's saying, oh, sleep faster, cut sleep out, like I've never been a subscriber to that. What words of wisdom do you have for staying on track with working kids, father of 3, and really struggling to make that time for myself like I used to work out, eat healthy, and get that sleep? Thanks. So this is it's tough. I mean, there's no other way, and I can't necessarily sugarcoat it and say, well, it's really simple. Just do this. The truth of the matter is, you have to be present in the moment. So when you're a dad with kids like that, the moments where you get to spend with them, you're in that moment and you're present in that moment. And then when it's time to work, then you're doing that work, but you're not doing any more. There's no wasted time. So it's you have to kind of put a different hat on. So work mode, dad mode, and then somewhere in that mix, maybe it's going to bed earlier, getting up a little bit earlier so you can get some type of personal time with your workout done. Figuring out ways with the eating to make it as simple as you possibly can, so you're not spending any extra time, but it's available. So maybe it's taking an hour or whatever on Sunday to prep food for the entire week, and then you have little containers and you've got it kind of portioned out. Of course, there's so many meal services now where you can order meals that could potentially cut down on time. Then it comes to a question of cost versus time, but it really is just about being regimented throughout your day.
I'm going to add.
Yeah.
I don't know what your goals are, Jesse, so I don't know like what your training would look like. If you have to go to the gym and you're lifting super heavy and your kids aren't allowed to go there, I don't know the age of your kids, but personally, again, my training is different than Brian's, and you're probably more on Brian's end of the training, but I personally would recommend trying to involve your kids in all those things. You don't want your kids to grow up and become an adult and be like, oh, well, how do I eat healthy? How do I work out? How do I get good sleep? Like, getting good sleep and eating healthy is good for you if you're 2, you're 20, you're 40, you're 60. So I like to think like involving your kids in what you're doing. Again, I don't know exactly where you're training or where you're eating or whatever, but like for you, if you're trying to eat healthy and you're like, here, kids have McDonald's, like maybe you're taking care of yourself, but now are you really taking care of your kids and teaching them those healthy, long-lasting, things that are just good for them? So again, kind of depends on specifically your goals and that type of stuff, but I would say if you can involve your kids, I don't know, I would recommend that. It can be a little bit different, but like our boys will come out in the gym sometimes when Brian's training, and maybe they're playing, like making up their own little workouts, or they're with me and making up their own workouts, or maybe they're playing remote control cars while Brian's training.
But they pick up
but
on
they're
the work.
like, you want to lead by example, I think. And so like even with food, the kids eat what we eat, that type of thing. So if you can involve them, that might help a little bit, versus thinking of like, oh, I have to get away to do my own workout. I have to get away to eat my own food. I have to, whatever. Like, your kids need sleep too. It's going to help them as well.
Cool. So we do have a lot of questions. So we're going to try to cook through them. Can we get extra credit for the challenge where we use undefined nutrition supplements?
I feel like it just sets you ahead.
Yeah, it sets you ahead. It sets you ahead. That's extra credit.
You
we
are.
appreciate it.
Just kidding.
We definitely appreciate it though. Thanks, Brian. You were welcome. I want to say thank you to Carrie for everything you do behind the scenes. You deserve more cred because you're doing an amazing job for Brian and the family. You're incredible. Much appreciated. Thank you.
That's so nice.
100%. Let's see. Sorry, I'm gonna have to work through. Are we able to edit or view the submission sheet for the challenge before the 16th?
I believe I have it set that you cannot edit.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
you can contact me directly if you need to make an adjustment. We can go
okay.
from there.
Not specifically doing the challenge, but I could definitely take some things for the challenge for daily improvement. Glad I got the 2.5 liter jug. The water goal is easily smashed. That's perfect.
Both Brian and I both literally have water bottles sitting here with
Yeah.
like how much water we're drinking labeled on the side.
Is August yet? I'm looking forward to August as much as you guys are. Believe me, with what we're talking about, I get excited. But we have to handle World's Strongest Man first. Are you still working with Nathan on nutrition? I am not. I'm actually going to do this prep on my own. I have decided to do that, and there's several different reasons that I have kind of decided to go in that direction. And there's not anything bad with Nathan, and I certainly wish him the best. But this is a decision that I wanted to make, so I wanted to do it on my own going in. Is it possible that Pavlo Nakonechki could get an invite to shot class? Of course that's possible. Of course that's possible. Hey guys, I'm from South America. Noticed the first prize is exclusive to the USA. If I paid my airfare, could I still come train with you, Brian? As far as the challenge goes, and I have disagreed with this adamantly from the start of doing the club. There are so many ridiculous giveaway restrictions that we have to abide by doing any type of giveaway.
It's not about the money.
And so it literally is like, I wish it could be worldwide, right? Like it's so frustrating to me. And I tried to fight that with the lawyers that put stuff together. I tried my best, and it's ridiculous, to be fair. I hate it. And I don't like the way that's set up, but somebody out there is like, well, you can't do this, or certain states, or it's absurd. It's absurd. So why don't you do this? Why don't you crush it? And then who knows when I'll be in South Africa? I would imagine at some point I will. We'll try to work something out or whatever, man. But I appreciate that so much, and like I said, I don't agree with any of the giveaway restrictions that are forced. It's not an option on us, it's forced onto us. To be fair, the Classic is better contest than any of the others. I appreciate that. 100% appreciate that. How do you feel about Eddie becoming a bodybuilder? What's funny is we went back and forth. We talked about this a few years ago. I feel like he just probably needed something different to challenge him. And I think that's probably the road. Eddie likes challenges. He's a competitive guy. And I think that's probably a lot of it that is going through his head. A Pit Shark machine or similar could help train the car deadlift. Yes, Pit Shark, belt squat, anything that is increasing that leg drive and power certainly could be a good accessory to that. I've sung the praises of recovery a number of times, having trouble sleeping due to pinched nerve and related muscle pain. I suggested recovery. It was her first good night's sleep magic. That's awesome. We love hearing that, and so many people have been helped out by that product. There's so much, and to be fair, I probably don't talk about this enough, but there's so much research that has gone into that. I have used it for years. I'm so happy that we added it
every single day.
Literally every single day. So that's amazing. Do you think that CrossFit competitions are doing too many strongman events, things like log lift, heavy back carry, yoke? It seems like every year they're adding events. You see at strongman events. I don't think they are doing too many. I think it's neat to see the crossover that's happening. I think Rogue has had a major role to play in that. But I think that, the only thing that the sport of strongman is going to see from that is winning. And again, from a standpoint of functional strength, strongman training is a great way to go. So not everybody that does strongman type movements needs to necessarily compete in strongman. It can be a fun outlet for them for training. So, these type of things I think that you're seeing in CrossFit are great overall to, just get more exposure,
and
right? Yeah.
we believe helps grow the sport of strongman.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Any advice on getting used to the circus dumbbell on your not so natural side? As I'm right-handed and find my left side very awkward.
We literally discussed this yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this down as well. So circuit dumbbell. So as far as this goes, it will feel awkward, right? So I have always been a massive fan of training circus dumbbell on both sides of the body. I've also been a fan of trying to be as equal as I can from right to left, from front to back, to have the joints balanced, have my strength balanced. So I have always integrated training with both arms on the circus dumbbell. Now, with your offhand, you might not be able to use as much weight. It might feel awkward, and it probably will, to be fair. It's just something that you have to work on and build up. But even if you are using less weight on that, kind of offside, non-dominant side, the balance will come, and also the carryover. If you get better with your non-dominant hand, typically you'll get better with your dominant hand. So this is something that can be frustrating, but my advice would be to not just let it go. And if you're going to train circus dumbbell, make sure to figure out a way to train it, even if maybe you have to use a normal dumbbell or something like that on the opposite side to try to build up, that type of thing, the carryover will be there. So it's one of those things, like I would equate it in basketball to learning how to play the game with your non-dominant hand. So, something as simple as shooting a left-handed a layup, or doing some type of post moves with your right or left hand. It took me a lot of time and dedication and effort to get good with both hands when I was playing basketball. So it's kind of the same thing with strongman. It's the same type of mentality. It just takes practice. Challenge is going to need 2 divisions if I'm going to have a chance at winning.
Top one.
Let's see, sorry.
No, just how.
Okay.
Joint stability.
What type of joint stability work do you do? I feel like I could squat much more, but my knees are shaky and don't tolerate higher weights. So as far as a joint stability type of thing, you want to do both open chain exercises and closed chain exercises, meaning, squats certainly are great, but then, some type of plyometric type of movements, single leg movements, that type of stuff can carry over very, very well. Now, one thing that I have plugged in a lot more is actually the bamboo bar. So it's loaded with bands. So that one I'm using more for my shoulder stability and pressing, but I have to engage my core a lot with that type of thing. I actually got a safety squat bar that is a bamboo safety squat bar, and I used that for step-ups the other night, and that will make you stabilize for sure. So that's another thing that I'm doing. But even if you don't have that, obviously not very many people are going to have that type of bar. You could put a regular safety squat bar, do step-ups with that, and potentially hang weights off of bands with that, and you'll have to stabilize a little bit more. So the more of that type of stuff that you can do, the stronger and more stable your joints are going to be and your body's going to be. So I don't know exactly what the cause is, but if you're throwing a lot of variety into your training like that, it will carry over. The challenge is going to need 2 divisions. We're going to have a chance at winning, moms and everyone else. I'll tell you what, right now the moms have been doing good. So
Doing great.
Great. Yeah. Technically they're 2-0. Moms are 2-0. So thank you both for the advice and taking the time to reply. You're welcome. What have you both learned from organizing the Shot Classic you did not know before? And where do you see the Shot Classic in the future? Gosh, I think we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot.
No, it is a lot. I mean,
that you've learned that it's a lot.
More than I expected. I think.
Yeah, there's
more
a lot
goes
of moving,
into it.
A lot of moving parts.
I don't think I learned this, but I just genuinely we love the Shot Classic. I don't know how else to say. We love it. love the athletes. Our team loves it. We're so excited about it. We dream of how can we make it better? How can we make the athletes feel more special? How can we make the fans love their experience more? I don't think that's learning from it, but I just love doing the Shell Classic.
Yeah, and that's as
Where
far
do
as
you see it going? Growing?
yeah, growing for sure. Let's see.
Here, Chris.
Saw the post about you testing out equipment for Rogue. How often do you companies request you test things out? I would say fairly often. Rogue,
More often than you can accept.
yeah, more often than I can accept. I'll say that. But the equipment for Rogue, that was actually a Christmas present. That bar, I believe that's probably the
You
post.
also have that bench.
Yep, that's not.
Not allowed to say that.
Yeah, good job, Karen. So there's other things that I'm testing as well. So that
My bad.
yeah, yeah. So that, just like that, just like that. Let's see. Much better deadlifter from the floor. Nationals at 18 inch, actual deadlift at 750 for reps. Accessories to help top end of deadlift. So this one is a tough one, and for deadlifters, especially like yourself, to get more power off the floor, that is something that is an 18-inch deadlift, especially with an axle, can be a very, very tough starting position. What I would say is, if you can go with this, I would add bands to it as well. And the reason the bands will carry over, I've always liked bands or some type of, well, to be fair, accommodating resistance, but bands are my favorite with the elevated pulls, is you have to engage very hard and pull very hard to get the bar or axle moving. So from that height, if you put some band tension on it, I feel like the carryover will be very good. You have to learn how to brace hard and get locked in at that starting position so that you can start and you're not open at all. So some of that will carry over as well. I think with this, obviously it kind of goes without saying, your upper back and back in general, those type of things, your glute strength, hamstring strength, all of that stuff as an accessory package is going to complement that movement. But throwing in some type of bands now, I would potentially go in varying heights. So don't do all of your training necessarily 18 inches. I would go maybe a touch under that and even a touch over that, so you can get a feel of every height kind of around that 18-inch mark and get strong coming into it. So I think that a combination of all of that, but the bands on the top end for lockout strength and for driving hard from that starting position, I've always found that they've had a good carryover for me with that. So I've been trying to improve my deadlift, but just been on a plateau. Do you think it's just the mental block of the heavy weight? It could be. It could be a mental block. A lot of times we, without even knowing, sometimes put these mental blocks onto ourselves, and you know, maybe it's another plate that goes on the bar or a certain kind of number that's like, wow, I you know, can mentally pull right below that, but then we get that number on the bar and can't lift it. So going to kind of following up, I guess, on what I just said with the bands, going with some type of accommodating resistance on the bar with deadlift. That's something that I've used before to break through plateaus, because you can't really say, okay, well, maybe it's this weight coming off the floor, but then you add some more band tension or chain weight or whatever, and then it gets to be heavier. So you almost can trick yourself in a way when you're deadlifting, and you put accommodating resistance on the bar, so you do get stronger, but you also don't get so fixated on the actual number of plate weight on the bar. So that's a good way to kind of trick yourself in a way to get past that plateau. And eventually, if you're thinking, hey, I've got whatever, let's just say 500 pounds on the bar, but I've got bands on there, and then I'm doing this and that, eventually 550 may not be that big of a problem, because you're thinking, well, gosh, maybe the bands are adding another 100 pounds. So it's a 600 pounds. So you start thinking in terms of I'm deadlifting 600 pounds versus 500 pounds. If that makes sense. I know that's a quick way to kind of run through that, but mental blocks can be tough, and you have to be able to figure out a way to train to get stronger. But if you break the lift down like that, and then also break down all the components, you could say, well, I'm breaking down, maybe my back isn't strong enough, maybe my legs need to get stronger, glutes, hamstrings, whatever that might be. If you put all of that together, eventually, if you're stronger on every accessory lift, inevitably the deadlift will go up. Any new gym equipment's coming, or Carrie won't let you anymore. So the most recent one I kind of highlighted in the last video was a old school leg extension, leg curl, and I am so happy with that right now. It was like just a cool find. To be fair, some guy built it, probably back in I would guess probably in the 80s, something like this, and it is just heavy and hard. And I have really enjoyed having that. So that's the newest piece of equipment, not necessarily that fancy or extravagant, but I'll tell you what, it works. So if I get chosen to go to Colorado, would my dad be able to come with me? I would say that we could work through that potentially.
We try to work with you.
Yeah.
There's no dates set aside at this point. Like, this is just another example. Someone's like, hey, if I win, I'm coming to the Shaw Classic already, but I can't get any more time off of work. Is there any way we could work something out around the Shaw Classic?
Yeah,
we will try to work with someone the best we can.
Yeah, if they win. If they're
the winner,
Are the boys still screaming all day down in the gym? You're super cute. They haven't said that in a little while, but I'm sure through
they're very into it though. Like right now, my dad is the strongest man in the world type of thing.
Yeah,
they're very into
it'll be fun. I'm sure as I get outside and as it warms up a little bit and I'm doing more event training, I'm sure they're gonna get into it. See what bench?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. So excited about my daughter joining the club and the challenge this year at senior year of high school, and I know this will help her have a more successful year. That's awesome. And senior year of high school is such a pivotal point. So that's amazing. Really, really cool. I know this added a lot to your plates. We're trying to manage it. So we're gonna, Mr. Shaw, what's your feeling towards micro plates? I've been seeing a lot of them lately in people's posts. Micro plates. I'm not sure.
Are they just like really lightweight plates?
That's what I'm gonna go with, like kind of like the change weight type of thing, like a 2.5 or something like that. I mean, the thing is, and we're kind of talking about plateaus and kind of getting that done. I would say that they can be beneficial. Like, if you're throwing, if you really break it down, if you were to add a 2.5 pound plate and quit worrying about like maybe a 10, 25 or whatever, over time that will absolutely pay off, and technically you're putting more onto the bar, right? So it could pay off. I mean, that's kind of, sometimes people forget about those small weights because they always want to go for the 45 pound plates or whatever, but they incrementally you put in a little bit more work and the stress is a little bit more and you get stronger. All right, so we are gonna try to do just a couple more. I'm now a couple minutes late to my meeting here. Let's see.
You're right. Got caffeine and this and this.
Cool. Can you recommend any specific movements, exercises from your ulnar nerve recovery? I had mine fixed this year and it's been going good with grip strength, but slow regaining endurance in the bicep, tricep. So I would say nerve glides are going to be your friend with this, and those are something that you could certainly look up. Just a nerve glide to kind of make sure that everything is moving well. Outside of that, it just took time. I mean, I hate to say that, but with a nerve, it's just coming back from something like that. It just took time. So there was a period after I had the release done that I got better really quick, and then after that it was more of a gradual process. It's good that your grip is coming back that's a very, very positive sign, because I feel like, you know, depending on what happened with the bicep, tricep, that should bounce back as well. But the grip coming back good is a great indicator. So just keep going. Don't get frustrated, and you'll keep improving day by day. Carrie's emotions on camera during the group stage, the world's strongest man, especially when those stone off, were powerful. They were powerful. Something I think about in my training for sure. When you make your 15 straight final, will you be counting from 1 to 15 to the camera? I don't know. That would be.
It's a lot of counting.
It's a lot of counting. Yeah, it is a lot of counting.
Yes.
Carrie, did you reserve your rooms for the Shaw Classic yet? Are we allowed to book our rooms yet?
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Current plans to go to Juji Mufu's gym. I would say at this point it will have to come after World's Strongest Man, but we definitely did talk about it when he was here. Thanks again for doing the chats with Shaw Club. Let's go crush this challenge. Y'all got this. I'm so proud to take this journey with you all. That's awesome. Awesome seeing Carrie this time. You both are awesome. This might be a little early, but have you guys had time to decide how you are doing sponsor the Shaw Classic in 2023? Wife and I are interested. I would say shoot us an email.
Yes, thank you. You can, oh gosh, I'm pretty sure the email is info@theshawclassic.com, but to be safe, you can do info@shawstrength.com. But yes, I actually am working on that this week. We are so blessed with people that want to sponsor the Shaw Classic and the athletes, and
definitely appreciate it.
So fortunate. But yes, please send me an email. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys.
Same thing. Yeah, send us an email and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
I know you're late.
Yeah.
We're doing an expo this year, so that information is coming too. We're so excited about it, and like, if you can't be like a big main sponsor, but you still want to be involved, the expo is like my new little baby.
It's gonna be fun.
We're super excited. But anyway, ways for other people to be involved that maybe are like a smaller company and just want to interact with
the fans.
just like locally, just at the site.
Yeah. Perfect. How tall you think your boys will be? I have no idea. Literally no idea. We never got told anything by the doctors.
Never.
All these people tell us, oh, the doctor said this and that. Well, they didn't say
Our
anything.
doctor never told us.
Yeah. So maybe we're going to the wrong.
Our kids really like steak.
Yeah, they like steak. We try to feed them, and hopefully they will grow and be as big as they are supposed to be. Does Carrie take care of social media? My dad thinks so. She definitely takes care of a lot of the.
I take care of most of the social media. I don't do Brian's social media. Brian does Brian's social media.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I do most of the companies, but Brian also helps too. But we do everything in house.
Perfect, guys. Awesome. So I'm gonna run. I've got to jump in this other meeting. We're a couple minutes late, but you guys are awesome. Hopefully you get signed up, fill out the questionnaire for the challenge.
I will post the weekly challenge.
And the weekly challenge for next week, which will be week number 1, will get posted today. So all the details are there. Click in, check it out, and we'll have fun with this. We'll push each other to get better, which is what the whole point of all of this is. And we're gonna make this year awesome. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Remember to go out and be great. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.